Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Italy. I hear that this is your first stop as far as Barcelona. One day it's it, and then here. Welcome to our country. Welcome to Tuscany, and also welcome to Livorno. My name is Francesca. I'm going to be your tour guide today, and Davide is our driver. So, a little bit of geography since this is your first stop in our country. In Italy, we have regions. Politically, we are divided into 20 regions. This is Tuscany. So don't ask me, are we going to see Tuscany? This is Tuscany. Florence, that we call Firenze in Italian, is the capital city of Tuscany. Livorno is the main port. This is actually one of the largest ports on the west coast of our country. In Tuscany, we have other historic towns, Pisa, Siena, San Gimignano, Lucca, and so on. If you treat yourself well with wines, we are famous for Chianti wines. My suggestion for the day is drink wine.
Wait, how much is
I'm good there. Jody. Jody.
The word Carrara is the town somewhere at the base of those mountains. It's very contact. These ideas are very much correct and later on. It's the same kind of religious buildings that we have seen in Pisa.
the marble that became the Statue of David belong to the same union that made it.
Yes, please. get a key.
An insurrection of the opposition against the tyranny of the monarchistic family. And the richness of the family owner of this palace, because you can see that there is a little bag of pork. But also here you can see that the widespread all around this town because the villagers, they were used to the ground. See, there are municipal pets in the town. I can say that in the town there is a population of 10 residents, human residents, and renovate the churches with a new modern style. So design because it was tested in procession, and it is very old. Equipped with many sensors connected to the monitoring.
All that training, you Is this?
We have here the nice gentleman, the host. What do you do with the last one?
Yeah, you have to touch that kind of wall on the right side. It's 35, 40 Fahrenheit all day here, okay? There is a part here of our barrique. Now it's too hot, so the wine is full of sugar, so full of alcohol, and the tannin has gone. What does it mean? Okay. It's cooler. Yeah, it's cooler, yeah.
Of the lake, it's 113 square kilometers, the surface. 113 square kilometers, and it's 151 meters deep. Yeah, so you have,
Don't need someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away, I can tell that something's off. The way you look and how you pause when you talk, I think you said enough. You